Hey there, it's good to see you. I hope that you are enjoying a fabulous day today. It is that time to update for Lorraine's Finish 5 by November 5th book challenge. This past month, I have been reading the book Room. It's by Emma Donoghue. I have to admit, if you really want a book that is challenging, that is going to push you out of your comfort zone with perception, and kind of your biased view of how you would handle things, this is the book for you. The basic premise of the story is there is this young mother who was kidnapped when she was in college, and she is trapped within an 11 by 11 room. During this time, she gets pregnant, and she is now raising her 5-year-old son named Jack, and they have very little contact with the outside world with the exception of a TV and their captor, who they call Old Nick. I don't want to give away too much of the plot in case you want to pick this up on Kindle, Goodreads, the library, whatever for yourself, because like I said, it is a very intriguing book because it makes you think outside the box, pun intended. The story is told from the point of view of Jack, who, like I said, who is 5 years old. And so the reality of their situation makes you angry. It's very horrifying, and you think this is traumatic because you're seeing it through a 5-year-old's eyes. So you have that filter of innocence to, I guess, soften the blow a little bit because he doesn't know any different. And so the behaviors that he sees are very normal. So the course of the book, the first half, you're visualizing life within this room and the foundation that his mother has given him. And then they make their escape, and then it's the new terrors of acclimating into normal society. So it took me finishing the entire book to embrace Jack as a child who, you know, you would worry about kids raised in captivity and what that might do to them and the shock of society. But I wrote down some ideas that I wanted to share with you of different things to kind of think about if you pick up this book, or if you haven't read it yet. There is a movie from what I understand, but a lot of the story has been changed. So I do recommend that you read the book. But the first thing that I really wanted to kind of put out there of what I felt was the physical claustrophobia of being stuck in a room 24 hours a day for years on end, what that does to a person's mind, what that does to their emotions, their self-esteem from that lack of contact with other people, versus the social claustrophobia. Because one of the things that I really just am enamored with was this mother's ability to parent without limitations. It's like seeing the hope and seeing the good through this absolute worst case scenario. But, you know, she's able to parent without any criticism, without any outside influence. And so she has confidence as a mother. She doesn't have anybody questioning her judgment. But then there's also the, you know, physical claustrophobia. She's feeling the limitations of not being able to do what she wants to do. But then once they acclimate into society, then it's all of a sudden the pressures of the world are just weighing in. So it's physical claustrophobia versus societal claustrophobia, because you can feel stifled in both. And then another thing that I was thinking about is, how would I handle myself in this situation if I were, you know, kidnapped and dealing with this alone, and then on top of it having a child? Would I have the strength that this mother, I mean, it's just, she's super mom. She is super mom. She does everything. But then I was also thinking, how would that potentially change the way I parent if I were in an 11 by 11 room 24/7 with my child? Because, you know, when you're taking care of children, it's like your patience gets tested and your endurance gets tested and all these things. And so if you have a child that's literally with you 24/7, no break, it's like, how does that change how you interact with that child? Then there's also this mother's view versus my view. She's very matter of fact with her son, and she talks through everything, no matter how difficult the situation is. In fact, you know, Jack at 5 years old understands a lot of realities of the world. He understands body language, sarcasm, innuendos, all these things that sometimes we don't give credit to kids for understanding until they come out of these very difficult circumstances, and then we're, you know, shocked at what they are able to absorb and process. And, you know, it made me realize how often that we explain things away to our kids instead of just getting to the heart of the issue. Then there was also codependency versus independence, because obviously raising a child within a room and they know nobody else, they're going to be very attached, almost to the point where you're thinking toxically so. But what you see when Jack goes out into the rest of the world is he's able to be very independent, because he's had that attention that he needs from that 24/7, you know, never failing. His mother is always there without even having to be a helicopter parent. And then also too, the power of nurturing, because Jack is an amazing little boy who his vocabulary is off the charts. His understanding of the world, limited as it may be, is off the charts for what his mother has given him. He has foundations in faith, and self-discipline and willpower. And it's incredible. Like if Jack were a real boy, I would be fascinated to see the man that he would become, because when you watch his introduction to society, it's fascinating, because the first observation that he makes is that parents don't interact with their kids. He's on a playground and the parents are on their cell phones, or they're talking to each other, when he's had nothing but undivided attention for 5 years. And so that was very intriguing to read. And then also on top of that is just the biased views of parenting, because at the end of the book, you're seeing everybody else's views being thrust upon this mother of how she should raise her son. And she knows what she knows is right, and she knows her child. And it's just kind of a huge parallel with all those points of like brutal clashing with society. So like I said, I don't want to give away too much of the plot. I gave you the basic gist of it. So I hope that you enjoyed this book review, and that you will check it out for yourself. Because like I said, it was a story that I really had to get the entire way through, because there were many parts of the book that were very difficult for me to read, because I walked away so angry at the situation and their captor and different things. So, but seeing the hope and the dedication and the determination and the lengths that this mother goes through are astounding. Like she is so much of a superwoman that I could only hope to be in those same circumstances. So very, very enjoyable. The next book that I'm going to be reviewing for this challenge is going to be a book called Royal Inheritance by Kate Emerson. I am a huge Tudor fiction junkie, and so this book is from the viewpoint of an illegitimate daughter raised by a tailor in Henry VIII's court. And so I thought it'd be a fun, easy breezy read for the next month. So I look forward to catching up on that review. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon. Catch you later.